Okay, so hi everyone. So today we are gonna solving this question. Just wait. Okay, so in this question, the product of Rx itself. So in this question, we just have to do one thing. We have to we have given an integer array nums and we have to return an answer array. And the condition is that the answer of I is always equal to the product of all the elements of num except nums of I. Means if we are at a particular index, so it should not get a multiply of that particular index. But at that index, we want multiplication of all. So let's try to see with the example how we can do this. So basically, we can do this using a simple approach. That is the product of all the element. If I take definitely for this particular index, the multiplication will be this. The rest of the element for this, the multiplication will be this, and for this multiplication is this, for this multiplication will be this. And we can get it by this particular loop. Okay, let me just change the pen here. Okay, so we can get this one. And so after getting the product, we can also visualize like for the zeroth index, the answer should be 24 divided by 1, 24. In this way, we can do this. And just right after this, we will declare one array and run this loop and we will get the answer. But condition is that in the question we have uh, already mentioned that we can't use this division operator. So we can do this by one more approach that is very optimal as well. That if we can get all the previous suffix or previous product to this value, like if I talk about this particular index, so prefix of all its value and suffix of all this value. And if I try to multiply at this index, so we will always, for this index, I will try to get I minus 1 value from here and j minus 1 value from there. And if I multiply them, so I will get the product of all these, but not exactly what is present at this index. So already fulfilling the condition. So you already, I hope you already know that how to make the prefix and suffix array. Uh, the formulas for the suffix and prefix always keep on changing with respect to the questions. So here we are getting the I minus 1 and I minus 1 for both. And and for this one also, suffix of I should always be equal to the, oh, just wait. Okay, so for the suffix of I, it will be suffix of I plus 1 and R of ARR of I plus 1. And so these are just the formulas that we can use to solve the question. So I think we didn't work it this way. Okay, so firstly we will declare some variables, suffix and prefix, and then we will also initialize them both and try to fill these arrays for the prefix one using this loop from 1 to n, and for the suffix loop from n minus 1 to 0. Okay, this should be. We will also see the code in the ID code in the lead code itself. So suffix of j will be a j plus 1 and ARR of j plus 1. And then we will declare our answer variable. And again, we'll run one more last loop from 0 to n. And at each index of answer of I, we will have the answer of each and every index that doesn't include the product of that particular element in that product itself. So we will get it from here. So let's try to see inside the code as well. So this is the code. We did everything that I wrote in the pseudo form over there in the board itself. So we will run one loop for the prefix, one loop for the suffix, and ultimately multiply both the indexes arrays, index of those particular arrays, and finally return the answer. So let's try to run this code, and then we will see the time complexity. So it is successfully accepted. So the time complexity for this loop is absolutely big of n. This one is also changing the n, and this one is also changing the n. So combining all three will be n plus n 3n, and that will be absolutely equal to big of n. So the time complexity for this code is big of n. Thank you very much. So let's see in the next one.